Tell me, when's the last time you looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the person staring back? Not because of age, not because of time, but because you've outgrown them. Most people spend their lives waiting for the right moment, the right mood, the right Monday. But here's the truth they're too afraid to admit. You don't need time. You need a war. A 7-day war against every habit, every excuse, every voice that ever told you to settle. This isn't about motivation. This is about murder, bearing the old you. Day 1, you'll want to quit. Day 3, your body will scream. But by day 7, you won't just change. You'll erase the person you were. Cold showers at dawn, pages that make your mind bleed, workouts that leave you shaking, cutting off every distraction like a gangrenous limb. The question isn't, can you do it? The question is, do you still recognize the coward in the mirror? Because in 7 days, you want to change your life. Then prepare to do something most people are afraid of. Become unrecognizable. If you look the same, think the same, act the same, nothing will change. The people who achieve massive transformation are not those who do things slowly. They are the ones who make a decision once and take massive action daily for the next 7 days like their future depends on it. Because it does. You don't need a new year, a new month, or a new Monday. You need 7 days. 7 days of commitment that most people will never dare to give themselves. Wake up earlier than ever. Push your body until it's exhausted. Read until your mind hurts. Reflect until it makes you cry. Stay away from every person, app, or habit that makes you feel small. On day 1, you will struggle. Day 2, your body will resist. Day 3, you'll want to quit. But day 4, something clicks. You start hearing your own voice. By day 5, your confidence returns. Day 6, you're in control. And by day 7, you'll look in the mirror and realize you are no longer the person you used to be. You don't need more time. You need more intensity, more focus, more honesty. 7 days can change your story if you're ready to become unrecognizable to who you were yesterday. So stop negotiating with your old self. It's time to bury comfort and build the life only few dare to live. You've got 1 week, start today. Your routine is not just a schedule, it is your identity on repeat. The way you begin and end your day is not just about habits, it's about how your brain is programmed, how your energy flows, and how your results are created. If your life feels stuck, stagnant, or off track, it's not your circumstances that are the problem, it's your routines. You cannot expect a new life while living inside an old pattern. That's why a radical routine reset is the fastest way to become unrecognizable in just 1 week. Start with the morning. The first hour of your day is your most powerful hour. It sets the tone for your decisions, focus, and attitude. Most people wake up reacting, checking their phones, scrolling social media, consuming other people's lives before they've even taken a moment to think about their own. You need to flip the script. Design the first 60 minutes of your day like an elite performer, like someone who's going to build empires, not excuses. Wake up earlier than usual. If you normally rise at 7, clock IM, start waking up at 5:30 IM. That extra 90 minutes is where you rewire your identity. Begin with stillness, no phone, no noise, just breathe. Let your mind wake up before the world interrupts it. Use 10 minutes for deep breathing or meditation, then go into intentional journaling. Write down your goals, your thoughts, and one thing you will do that day to improve 1% from yesterday. Not 100%, just 1%. That's enough to change everything over time. Next comes movement. Whether it's a 30-minute run, high-intensity body workout, or just walking while listening to something educational, you must move your body. Energy is created, not found. Your physiology controls your psychology. You can't stay mentally strong if your body is in a lazy state. Train your body to respond to stress, to fatigue, to pressure, and your mind will begin to follow the same pattern. Nutrition also plays a critical role in this reset. Start fueling your body like someone who respects their mission. No sugar-loaded breakfast, no skipping meals, no I'll eat whatever I find. Instead, hydrate first. Water, lemon, and maybe some sea salt. Then go for something protein-rich, something clean. The sharper your fuel, the sharper your thoughts. Now look at how you spend your midday hours. Audit every hour of your time. Track it, study it. Are you in flow or in distraction? Most people don't need more hours in the day. They need fewer leaks in their time. Block out distractions, silence notifications, work in focused 60 and 90-minute sprints, then take intentional breaks. During those breaks, don't scroll aimlessly. Go outside, stretch, drink water, reconnect with your vision. You need discipline in your downtime, not just in your hustle. Your evening routine is your final battleground. This is where most people lose the war. The day ends and they collapse into the couch, binge content, stuff themselves with food, and dull their mind with noise. Your reset depends on changing this. Create a shutdown ritual. At least 60 minutes before bed, get off all screens. Journal what you learned today, what you accomplished, what you need to improve. Reflect deeply, be honest. Self-reflection is how the brain creates long-term memory and identity shifts. Read something powerful. 10 pages of a great book before bed can feed your subconscious with new beliefs and better inputs. Then sleep early. Don't worship hustle culture by depriving yourself of recovery. Quality sleep is where your mind consolidates learning, heals emotionally, and prepares for the next level. Set a bedtime alarm. Respect it. Go to bed knowing your routine is not a series of tasks. It's your transformation blueprint. Focus is the rarest currency in the modern world. Everyone is busy, yet very few are actually productive. Most people confuse motion with progress. They jump from task to task, app to app, screen to screen, thinking they are doing a lot, when in truth, they are doing nothing with real depth or direction. To become unrecognizable in 1 week, you must adopt an uncommon level of focus that most people will never develop. This is not regular focus. This is extreme focus, the kind that turns a scattered mind into a precision tool. Distractions are not just stealing your time, they are stealing your future. Every notification, every dopamine hit from scrolling, every meaningless conversation is pulling you away from the person you're trying to become. It's not enough to reduce distractions, you must eliminate them. You must treat distractions like enemies because they are silent killers of dreams. Start by creating boundaries. Your environment must reflect your priorities. If your phone is on your desk while you work, that's already a crack in your focus. Turn it off. Lock it in a drawer. Use app blockers. Let people know you are unreachable during focus hours. You're not being rude, you're being responsible with your attention. People who protect their time are not selfish, they are strategic. Design your day into deep work blocks. These are 60 to 90-minute sessions where you do one thing only. No tabs open, no background noise, no task switching, just one problem, one project, one outcome. The human brain performs at its best when it's in flow state. But flow cannot exist where there is interruption. It takes 20 minutes to enter deep focus. Every time you get distracted, you restart that clock. Multiply that by how many times you check your phone, glance at your inbox, or switch tasks. That's not just lost time, it's lost momentum. Schedule your distractions. Don't surrender to them. Want to check social media? Fine, schedule it for 15 minutes in the evening. Don't give it random, unchecked access to your brain throughout the day. Control your inputs. The average person consumes more than 10,000 pieces of digital content per day. That means you are not thinking your own thoughts. You're just reacting to everyone else's noise. Cut it out. Read long-form content. Listen to powerful, intentional ideas. Watch content that aligns with the person you're becoming, not the person you're trying to escape. Train your mind like a muscle. Start with short focus sessions. 30 minutes of pure focus, followed by a 5-minute break. Build that up to longer sessions. It's just like training in the gym. Your mind must be stretched to grow. At first, it will resist. You'll feel the itch to check your phone, the urge to do something easier. That's the withdrawal from distraction. Push through it. Each day you resist, your focus strengthens over time. What used to feel boring, long periods of deep work, will become your edge. Manage your energy, not just your time. Focus is fragile when you're tired, hungry, or mentally drained. Don't rely on willpower alone. Structure your day to match your natural rhythms. Put your highest value tasks when your brain is sharpest, usually in the first 4 hours after waking up. Block your calendar. Build rituals before deep work. Maybe it's a cup of coffee, a certain playlist, or a short walk. Your brain loves patterns. Create a pre-focused ritual that tells your mind it's time to lock in. Be ruthless with your attention. Not every message deserves your reply. Not every problem deserves your energy. Not every invitation deserves a yes. The more focused you become, the more distractions will try to pull you back. That's the test. The world will not reward you for being available to everyone. It will reward you for being valuable to the right purpose. Motivation feels good, it's exciting, it gives you a temporary high, a spark that makes you believe anything is possible. But the truth is, motivation is unreliable. It's emotional, unstable, and unpredictable. One day you feel like showing up, the next day you don't. And if you live by motivation, your progress will always be inconsistent. That's why the people who truly transform their lives do not depend on motivation. They rely on discipline, the ability to act regardless of how they feel. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't want to. It's the alarm going off at 5:00 a.m. and your body begging for 5 more minutes, but you get up anyway. It's choosing the hard path today so your life is easier tomorrow.
Discipline is uncomfortable in the short term, but it is freedom in the long term. And the reason most people never change is because they're always waiting to feel ready, to feel motivated, to feel inspired. The problem is feelings are not the foundation for transformation. Systems are, habits are, commitments are. If you want to change in 1 week, you need to stop negotiating with yourself. You need to make decisions based on your standards, not your emotions. Set the rule once and follow it without argument. If your rule is, I wake up at 5:00 a.m., then that's the law. If your rule is, I don't skip workouts, then there's no debate. The more you argue with yourself, the more room you create for weakness to grow. Discipline begins in the small things. How you do anything is how you do everything. If you can't keep your bed made, your space clean, your promises to yourself intact, how will you ever handle the pressure of greatness? Excellence doesn't start with massive victories. It starts with small disciplines repeated every day, especially when no one is watching. That's when character is built. That's when identity shifts. We also need to understand that discipline is not natural, it's trained. Nobody is born disciplined. It is developed through repetition, through resistance, through constant decision-making under pressure. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you reinforce your ability to choose strength over weakness, and the more often you choose it, the easier it becomes. Not because life gets easier, but because you become stronger. Stop waiting for the mood to strike. The world is full of people with dreams, visions, goals, and empty calendars. Discipline is what turns intention into execution. You can have the best plan in the world, but if you don't follow through daily, that plan means nothing. Motivation may get you started, but only discipline will carry you through the moments when everything feels heavy, when progress is slow, when no one claps for you, when the excitement is gone, and all that's left is the work. Build your day around discipline. Start with time blocking. Schedule what matters most and show up for it like your future depends on it. Create a structure that removes decision fatigue so you're not constantly deciding what to do next. You just do it. Discipline thrives in clarity. Be clear about your non-negotiables. Know your rules, stick to them, even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when no one's watching. Understand that you are not supposed to, discipline. It's not supposed to feel good. That's the point. It's training you to be resilient. It's preparing you to operate above emotion, above mood, above pressure. It's preparing you for the life most people don't get, because most people won't do what it takes to earn it. Motivation is a luxury, discipline is a requirement. Real transformation never comes from doing what's comfortable. It comes from shocking your system physically, mentally, and emotionally until your old limits are no longer welcome. You can't gently tiptoe your way into a new identity. You have to interrupt the pattern, destroy the excuses, and hit your mind and body with a new standard so forceful that the old version of you has no space to survive. Your system, your habits, your beliefs, your comfort zones has been built around survival, not success. It keeps you safe, not powerful. That system is wired for what's familiar, even if it's dysfunctional. That's why the moment you try to change, it resists. It tells you to slow down. It whispers that you're tired. It convinces you to start tomorrow. And most people obey it, not realizing that their system is their prison. To escape, you must shock it. Wake up before your brain expects it. Move your body until it's sore. Do something intense every single day for 1 week, something that breaks routine, demands discipline, and forces your mind to adapt. Shock is not about pain, it's about reprogramming. You're telling your nervous system, your mindset, your self-image, this is not who I am anymore. Begin with your physical body because it's the fastest way to break in. Wake up and immediately do something challenging. Cold showers, fasted cardio, high rep training, push-ups until failure. You're not training muscles. You're training your threshold for discomfort. Every drop of sweat, every burning rep, every moment you want to stop and don't, that's a message to your brain that says, I can handle more than I thought. That message starts to compound, and over time, it changes how you walk, how you speak, how you act. Your mind needs the same pressure. Most people protect their thoughts from struggle. They never sit alone in silence. They never push through a hard book. They never ask themselves difficult questions. To shock the system mentally, you have to dig into the uncomfortable. Journal until the truth hurts. Reflect until the excuses fall apart. Audit your goals, your habits, your relationships, and remove what doesn't align with where you're going. Mental intensity is not about thinking harder, it's about thinking deeper. Go without the things you normally depend on. Skip the snacks, turn off the entertainment, disappear from the noise, fasting not just from food, but from distractions and emotional crutches. Forces your system to find strength inside instead of looking for relief outside. When you're not numbing discomfort, you begin to understand where your power truly comes from. Your emotional system also needs a reset. Most people go their whole lives reacting, triggered by opinions, held back by fear, paralyzed by doubt. To shock that system, you have to put yourself in situations that force growth. Have the conversation you've been avoiding. Say no to what drains you. Do something that scares you. You don't grow by staying safe. You grow by stepping into moments that make your heart race and your voice shake. Fear is not the enemy, it's the compass. And when your whole system, body, mind, and emotion is being pushed at the same time, that's when identity begins to shift. You no longer recognize your old habits, your cravings disappear, your laziness feels foreign. You start craving progress more than comfort. You begin acting like the version of yourself you've been trying to visualize for years, not because you imagined it, but because you lived it under pressure. The human system only evolves under stress, only adapts under demand, only transforms under intensity. Your identity is not fixed. It is formed, shaped, and molded by the inputs you allow into your life every single day. The way you think, speak, act, and feel is the result of what you've been consuming, consciously or unconsciously. What you read, watch, listen to, scroll through, and surround yourself with is either building the future version of you or reinforcing the version you're trying to escape. If you want to change your life in 1 week, you must start with your inputs. Because new inputs create new thoughts, and new thoughts lead to a new identity. Most people never change because they keep feeding their minds the same noise while expecting a different outcome. They wake up and immediately scroll through negative news, gossip, and meaningless content. They listen to the same music that triggers the same emotions. They hang around people who complain, compare, and play small. And by the end of the day, they wonder why they feel stuck, uninspired, and lost. It's not a mystery. It's a cycle, a predictable one. And the only way to break it is by starving your old inputs and feeding your future self. Start with what you listen to. Replace random entertainment with intentional audio, podcasts, audiobooks, speeches, content that educates, uplifts, and stretches your thinking. Listen while you walk. Listen while you clean. Listen while you train. Let every spare moment become a classroom for growth. The words you hear shape the conversations in your head. If you're constantly listening to greatness, ambition, and wisdom, your inner voice will begin to mirror that. Then shift what you watch. The screen is not just a distraction. It's a mirror. It reflects your priorities. If you spend hours watching mindless shows or toxic content, it's not harmless. It's programming you. It's influencing how you think about money, relationships, success, and yourself. Cut the content that drags you down, replace it with content that builds you up. Documentaries that challenge your view of the world, interviews with people who've achieved what you're aiming for. Visualize your goals, then only consume content that supports them. Now, evaluate your reading. If you don't read, start reading. If you do read, level up what you read. The books you choose are conversations with minds greater than yours. A few pages a day can shift your entire belief system over time. Read biographies of people you admire. Read books on psychology, mindset, discipline, leadership, and purpose. Don't just highlight lines, apply them. Let the principles you read become the instructions for how you operate. Your environment is another powerful input. The places you spend time in influence your energy. A messy room leads to a messy mind. A toxic workplace leads to emotional exhaustion. Your physical environment must support your new identity. Clean it, organize it, simplify it. Make your space reflect who you are becoming, not who you've been. But the most influential input of all is people. The conversations you have daily matter more than most people realize. Words are contagious. Attitudes are infectious. Spend time around 5 people who play life at a low level, and your standards will slowly begin to lower too. You'll start accepting excuses, justifying failure, normalizing mediocrity. Instead, expose yourself to high standards. Seek out mentors, even if only through their content. Join groups, communities, or networks that speak the language of growth. When you're surrounded by people who expect more from themselves, you'll naturally begin to expect more from yourself. Your brain is always listening, always absorbing, always adjusting. What you feed it becomes your belief system. What you consume shapes what you create. You can't become a new version of yourself while feeding on yesterday's thinking. New identity isn't just about changing behavior, it's about replacing the input stream that formed the old behavior to begin with. In conclusion, becoming unrecognizable in 1 week is not a fantasy, it's a decision. It's the refusal to live one more day as a watered-down version of your potential. In just 7 days, you can interrupt your patterns, reset your routines, and reprogram your identity. But it requires intensity. It requires shutting out distractions, silencing doubts, and showing up with relentless focus when no one's watching. Change doesn't come from inspiration alone. It comes from execution. That's why you reset your routine, not to impress others, but to reclaim your discipline. That's why you choose extreme focus, not because it's easy, but because your goals demand it. You push past comfort, shock your system, and fuel your mind with new inputs that align with who you are becoming. The world may not recognize you after this week. Your habits will be different. Your thinking will be sharper. Your presence will speak for itself. And that's the point. You're not doing this to impress the world. You're doing it to meet the version of you that's been buried under years of hesitation, distraction, and fear. This is your transformation. This is your moment. The next 7 days are no longer just days.
This is your call to arms, not in battle against the world, but in rebellion against the person you've outgrown. 7 days. That's all it takes to rewrite your story. But only if you're willing to burn the old pages. No more excuses, no more some days. The clock starts now. When you wake up tomorrow, you won't recognize the face in the mirror. Not because it's changed, but because the fire behind your eyes finally matches the one in your chest. The world doesn't reward potential. It rewards those who demand more from themselves than anyone else dares to ask. So tell me, who will you be 7 days from today? The same person making the same excuses? Or the version of yourself that was always there, waiting for you to stop pretending you weren't ready? The choice isn't complicated, it's just brutal, and it's yours. Now go, your future's waiting.